Liane Lang's work combines a mixture of photography and grotesquely life-size sculptures made of rubber and silicone. Her new work, currently on display at Art First, plays with status, scale and acts of iconoclasm.
Work in this exhibition is really from two different series of work. The photographs come from a project I did in Memento Sculpture Park in Budapest. I did a residency there and I took my own sculptural figures and posed interventions with statues in the park. A lot of these sculptures had been taken down violently. A lot of other socialist sculptures hadn't survived. And so I got more and more interested in iconoclasm and I started to research statues that had actually been destroyed and very seriously damaged. And I collected photographs of these statues, a lot of them that don't exist anymore. And that's how the series of sculptures came about. So the series is called Revolution.
Have you worked with bronze before?
No, this is my first foray into this material. All my sculptures up to that point were either kinetic objects, where I was using the photographs in kind of sculptural objects, or, you know, to like zoetropes and things like that, or the latex figures and silicon figures that I've been using in my photographs. I was in Budapest for a month. I worked absolutely like mad while I was there. I started at 6 in the morning. I was out at the park and with, you know, until the sun went. It was every day. And by the end of it, I had another, you know, 30 works that I would have liked to have made. And I think it's an interesting point to make that the Sculpture Park doesn't treat the sculptures as artworks. They are kind of remnants. And I think there is a kind of effort to not make it reverent in any way. So there's a kind of sense that you're, you know, you're looking at objects that represent a period in history, but you're not supposed to think that they might be proposing that the ideology was good. And in that strange balance, the sculptures are treated with a certain amount of freedom that you wouldn't get in another kind of museum. This image is called Bossy Boots. These are the boots of a huge soldier who was positioned on the Liberty Memorial in Budapest, which is still in place. It's one of the very, very few socialist statues that's allowed to remain where it was. And the statue of the soldier was removed, so it was kind of de-Sovietized in a way. And this is actually a little model of the Stalin's boots, which are also in Memento Sculpture Park, and they are left over as a sort of memorial to the 1956 Hungarian uprising, where this sculpture was taken down by the people. And so there's no nudes at all in the park. There's no naked figures. It's quite an interesting feature, which is very different between the socialist and the fascist statues, is that there's a lot of nudity, obviously, in the Nazi sculpture, but the socialism there's hardly any. So I introduced a little delicate nude into the picture, into this beautiful archway which was sitting there empty.